to clausal structure. The sentence length and complexity increases in terms of clauses by children gaining competence in conjoining clauses and embedding clauses. So if we look at clausal structure development, we can start analyzing sentences in terms of whether they're simple and have just one main clause, compound, they have two main clauses, connected by a coordinating conjunction, or complex. They have dependent clauses or subordinate clauses that are elaborating these sentences. And we can look at the types of conjunctions and adverbs children use to conjoin clauses, because we conjoin them with conjunctions that you learned about earlier, and, but, or, nor, for, so, but also adverbs, when, because, although, those kinds of things. Adverbial conjuncts, we call them. And they become much more elaborate as kids age. They become elaborate like however, therefore, those kinds of things. So here are some examples of the types of conjunctives that characterize children's language at different age levels. Now let's look at this sentence, example sentence. I would have gone to the store if I had known in advance that you didn't buy ice cream. However, it's too late for me to go now. You might write something like that, huh? How many clauses are in that sentence? How many clauses? Four. Exactly. In looking for how many clauses are in that sentence, what did you look for? How many
Conjunctions and nouns and verbs.
versus conjunctions? That's not actually the best way, because if you're looking for conjunctions, sometimes complex sentences don't have a conjunction, right? So,
I look for phrases.
yes, and specifically you look for verb phrases. Verb phrases. So, here's the first verb phrase, would have gone. Okay? So that's the first clause. Second verb phrase is had known. That's the second clause. What's the next verb phrase? Didn't buy. And the last main verb phrase? To go is a verb phrase. So let's talk about that in a minute. But what is also, the copula is a verb phrase. So because you said there are four main clauses, that's okay. I would have accepted 4 or 5, depending on whether you're counting this last infinitive as a phrase or a clause. And it depends on which linguistic camp you're in. Okay? Would you say this sentence is compound or complex? Compound, it only has main clauses.
Complex.
Complex. Because it has not only, even though it has more than one main clause, it also has some subordinate clauses, right? Some clauses that are a little less important. Which clauses are subordinate?
It's to read and to go. As a verb phrase.
Okay. Let's take the first half of it. I would have gone to the store if I'd known in advance that you didn't buy ice cream. Okay? There's only one main clause in this group. One main clause. One of the most important ideas, and then there are two ideas that tell you a condition in which you would have performed the main clause.
You didn't buy ice cream?
Actually, I would have gone to the store.
The store is the main clause.
It's the main clause.
Okay.
And then if I had known in advance is the condition. Okay? If you had known in advance what? That you didn't buy ice cream. So this is just giving you more information about what you needed to know in advance. This is an adjectival clause. Okay? So this has one main and two subordinates. And the second part, what's the main clause? What's the main idea? it's too late for me to go now, or if you're gonna count this as dependent. That's a little more straightforward.